What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to unlock and master each vocation in Dragon Dogma 2. Now when I say master, I'm talking about achieving full mastery to where you get the ultimate skill, and these are incredibly powerful skills in general. They're kind of like just the top skill in each vocation. To acquire these, we need to locate the Meister for each individual class. And after doing a quest with each Meister, you'll then get access to those skills. So to start, we're going to be going through the early Meister locations, and then as we get to the later vocations, we will talk about where to unlock each of those skills. And to start, up on deck we have Fighter. Now I'm going to be showing pictures of everybody. I'm not going to be going to each individual location because fast travel is fairly limited in this game, but a lot of these are just finding a specific NPC and doing a quest, so you should do fine with what I discuss here. And anyway, first up we have Leonard. Now Leonard is the fighter master, and to get access to him we have a quest line that is going to start in Melve and involve both Melve as well as the capital. Now to start, the first time you go over to Melve, he is going to have a very easy quest. This is an early town, you basically can't miss it. He just wants you to take out a couple of Saurians, do that quest for him. You're going to meet him right at the entrance to Melve, right around where the cursor is at the moment. He is going to ask you to take out a Saurian nest by throwing some explosives. That happens like right over here. After that, he says, hey, you could probably, learn my stuff one day. At that point, we need to go back to the hub and do one of the main story quests. Now, in particular, we have three quests. We have Deesa's Plot, we have the Caged Magistrate, and we have Monster Calling. It doesn't matter which you do, but as long as you have one of those quests done, and you then go back, you take a ox cart. So we go right over here, we can take this ox cart, and that's going to take us back to Melve. Melve will then be under attack by a dragon. If you manage to push that dragon back and get it to leave, talk to him after the fact, and he should give you the scroll for the fighter skill. Now I do want to say up front that as far as I know, I think you have to have at bare minimum the vocation unlocked or some experience for some of these. I know for the Mystic Spearhand, I had leveled it before I got access to the Maester skill, and I was playing fighter when I ended up having this skill given to me. I'd already leveled up fighter. But if you go through these steps and you don't get the scroll, unlock the vocation, get a level or two in it, and try talking to that person again. Moving on from there, we have the Archer. Now the Archer quest is actually going to be pretty easy, but I'll show y'all the NPC just so you can't miss him. Where did he go? There we go, Glindir. And Glindir we're actually going to find right here in the capital. And this is one of the few I will show the exact location of just because we're here. So running on down, you are going to find him hanging out just outside of the blacksmith shop. So basically right here. Go on up, he's going to say that he's interested in learning more about human bows. Buy a bow from the blacksmith, give it to him. That is going to start up his quest chain. That quest chain will involve meeting him a couple times and then eventually joining him for an archery trial. After you go through the events of the archery trial, you will then just talk to his father over in the Elven village, and he will give you access to the skill. Now, a good way to find it is, this actually isn't really shown, but when you first go over here to the Sacred Arbor as part of his quest line, he's going to run over to here basically and be like, no one's here, what's going on? That's the spot where you will find his father after the quest to get access to the archery skill. Now moving on to Thief, one of the first things I would suggest doing is make sure you have the story quest, the Arisen Shadow, or no, excuse me, the Nameless Village. This is actually going to take you to the location that you need to go for the Thief quest, but once you go on over to here, you're going to go on over into this village. It's going to seem like there's nothing going on here. You go down into these depths, you got to complete a dexterity trial. After that, you talk to a person right here. You're going to get your first thief skill. And then after doing that, if you come back up top and you go into the manor that's right here, talk to that guy, and you're going to get a second thief skill. The only two vocations with two skills are Thief and Sorcerer. Which, moving on from Thief, next up we have Mage and Sorcerer. Now this is also at a discrete location, so actually we'll just jump on over to the map and show it. But to start this quest, we need to head on up here to Eni's home, just to show where we're going up on the map. Go here during the day, you'll see a little girl who wants to learn magic and her grandparents won't let her. You come back in the morning after her grandparents have left, and she will ask you to find 5 tomes for her. Now this is a two-parter, because that quest is going to get you 1 sorcery skill as well as 1 mage skill. However, there is another NPC involved in the quest line, and they are over here at Checkpoint Rest Town. You go over to this area, you have to wear some noble wear. You can find it in the noble district or in the castle in chests, so just kind of explore a little bit. I would not suggest buying it. It's like 100,000 per piece. You can just find it. Like I have like 5 or 6 pairs now. But when you go on over here, this guy's also going to say that he wants you to collect 5 books. Now, the trick here is there is someone in Checkpoint Rest Town right on over here behind the guild that will do forgeries for you. You want to get all 5 books. You want to give the forgeries to the old man right here, and you want to give the legit copies to the little girl. Doing that will get you 2 sorcery skills and 1 mage skill. So let's talk about the book locations. The first is actually right in this house. Now you can't actually walk right in and take it. If you do that, he will aggro. You will then fail that portion of the quest. Instead, if you're kind of right where I'm at right here outside the house, there is a stone wall that you can climb up, and then you can jump onto his balcony. Now entering the house that way, you will then be able to steal the book, which is Let There Be Light. After doing that, that takes off your first book off the list. Just make sure you go in via the balcony and not in the front when you steal it. The second is right on over this way at the ancient battleground. Once you get on over here, you fight past some stuff. Over towards this way, there's a guy in a quest to help fix the cenotaph. If you follow him, it's going to take you up here into the battlement. You're going to fight past a bunch of skeletons, and eventually when he reaches the cenotaph, right there is, it's like Nation's Death Knell, and that is going to be your second book. Your third book is going to be over here in Melv. There is a merchant just hanging around with a backpack right here at this little crossroad. You talk to him, spend some gold. That will get you the Thunderous one. The fourth, you actually need to trade Thunderous for. So after you get Thunderous here in Melv, what you're going to want to do is make sure you go back over here, make a forgery of it, and then make your way on over here to Nameless Village. And you're going to trade Thunderous for someone here to get the Ice skill. And then the last but not least ties into the main story quest of the Caged Magistrate. And you get that here at Gracious Hands Vaults. But what you're going to have to do is come here to this church. There's going to be a man just standing in front of the church. He's there most of the time. Just go talk to him. He's going to mention a child has disappeared. At that point, you need to talk to 3 kids. One of them is right here. One of them is right here. One of them is inside. They're going to mention that a little boy went missing. The little boy went missing in an area. You talk to the old man. He says, let's open it up. You then go down. This uncovers the Gracious Hands Vaults. After this, you can then do the Caged Magistrate main quest. Let a little bit of time pass. Come back and talk to the guy who went to the Gracious Hand Vaults as part of that quest line, and he will give you the 5th book, Towering Earth. After you have all 5 books in your possession, make sure you then make forgeries of all of them. Give the old man all the forgeries. That will unlock Maelstrom, which is one of the Maester skills for Sorcerer. You give the real books over here to the little girl. Her quest line continues a little bit longer, but when it finishes, she will give you the scroll for Meteor, and then you talk to her grandmother, and her grandmother will give you the scroll for Celestial Pain, which is the ultimate mage skill. Now, on the note of Sorcerer, since that does not start off unlocked, that's actually pretty easy to get. Just talking to Klaus right here, we're going to get a quest called Vocation Frustration. This is very early in the game. All we have to do for that is go on over to Trevo Mine. I'd suggest you pick up the main story quest called Monster Calling from the Captain. It's one of those main quests that you really can't miss because that also takes you here. But you go here, there's going to be a great sword and an arc staff inside. After you return those to the dude, he is then going to unlock the Sorcerer as well as Fighter vocation for you. Now, moving on to Fighter. This one has a specific NPC. So we're going to pull him on up because he has a couple different locations. I think I scrolled right past him. There we go, Baron. Now most of the time he's going to be dressed up like that, but this is essentially the captain of the Border Watch outpost. Now there are 2 areas you can find them. The easiest way is going to be at his hut. So go on over to Melv, which, by the way, anytime you're going to these places, this one will take you out to Checkpoint. This one will take you out to Meld. Absolutely utilize the ox cart stations. But go to Melv, rest so that it's morning, and then you can go right up here to Baron's tent, and he should be there most of the time. If he's not at his tent, the other place he would be is right over here at the border check watch town. Now, he is going to have a quest where he wants you to bring home a recruit and weapons. After that quest is active, as you're just spending some time in the capital city, a kid is going to come up to you and be like, "You're so impressive the way you fight. I want to learn to be like you." You tell him about Baron. In addition, after you've picked up his quest back in the capital, just pick up 3 swords from the blacksmith, get the cheapest swords you can, and then when you go over to him, you have to deliver those swords. You can also find swords out in the world, but it's pretty easy to just buy 3 of the cheapest ones. So once he has the dude that wants to train with him, as well as the swords, then you will then progress to the next step of the quest. You'll end up meeting him over here at Border Watch Outpost. There's going to be a mention of goblin attacks. You're going to tag along with that. Somebody gets injured, some time passes, and then you're going to find him right here in Moonglow Garden. He's going to mention that he got fired because someone else got attacked, and he's a beast ren and they don't like beast ren. He's going to give you his greatsword and disappear, but it doesn't end there. He actually goes on over to the border checkpoint rest town right here to Baron's childhood home. Now, to get over here, the easiest way would be to just advance the story until they give you the pass to go through the gate. If you don't have that, alternatively, you can occasionally notice carts that are headed to the Forbidden Research Lab coming through. You can jump on one of those carts to smuggle your way through the gate. Alternatively, you can go this way. So just like hop off of that and then kind of take this long path all the way around. This is both of these are kind of risky routes. So you can go Alternatively, you could take Gorko Cavern, which will pop you out here, and then do that to pop into town, to then go this way, to cut across, to make your way up. But in general, unless you're desperate to get access to that ability, I would just wait until the gate opens up. There's a lot of quests where, going to the second zone might progress something that might impact a quest. So it's probably easier to just wait. He will be there waiting for you, I promise. Now moving on from there, we have our hybrid vocations: Magick, Archer, Mystic Spearhand, Trickster, and Warfare. Now, unfortunately, this one and this one are quite late. Trickster we can get in Act 2, and Mystic Spearhand we can actually get very early. So we're going to talk about that one first.
Glad to assist you. Do come again.
Talking about Mystic Spearhand, we're going to hop on over to the notebook and right by him. We want to go to Sigurd. Now, the first time you meet Sigurd will actually be during that warrior questline if you're following it when the dragon attacks Milv. This guy is basically hunting down that dragon. When that dragon attacks Melv, he'll be there in that fight. You'll see him dashing all over the place and going around. And immediately after that fight, you can talk to him. As a reminder, as long as you've done at least one of the main quests and then you visit Melv, it should trigger that dragon. If you can't find him immediately after the fight, just go ahead and rest at the inn, and then he should hang out here for roughly a day, just kind of looking out onto the water. Now, this is only if the dragon escapes. On your first playthrough, it's likely going to escape. I mean, if you have the damage to kill that thing outright, you're a beast. But either way, all you got to do is talk to Sigurd, and that will unlock Mystic Spearhand. Now, beyond that, to get the Mastery, this one's a little unclear to me. I know he has a quest, and I believe completing that quest is what unlocked it for me. It just kind of popped up. But he has a quest that will take you all the way out here to Dragon's Breath Tower. After you accomplish that quest, you should then get the ability. If he doesn't give it to you then, you can find him here at Har Village, out by this little hut, and talking. That's where I ended up getting it. I found him over there and was like, "Hey, it's Sigurd." And he was just like, "You've done good and helped me. Take this." And he gave me the ultimate ability. Moving on from there into the other two NPCs. Next up, we will take a look at Trickster. Now, Trickster can be a little tricky. Get it? Trickster, tricky. But the person we are looking for is Lutz. Now, Luz is essentially a spirit, or seemingly looks like a spirit, but she is a real person, and you just have to find the real person to get access to it. Now, you are first going to find her over here at the Reverend Shrine. Just going on over there and talking with that spirit should unlock Trickster for you. If it doesn't, it should just unlock at some point in Act 2. For me, it just kind of auto-unlocked. But while you're at this shrine, there is a ladder on the left side of it. You can climb all the way up and then go around to the front, and she will be there in her corporeal form. And talking to her there, assuming you've actually leveled Trickster a little bit, should then unlock the skill since you found her and you've been fighting and doing stuff. Moving on from there, the next one we have is Clodoa. And Clodoa is the Magick Archer. Unfortunately, this one is very, very late. But all the way down on the southern volcanic island, right on over here, we have the Windwalker's home. Now, the fastest way to get this is going to be to push all the way through the second zone, enter Dravnir's Grotto, pop out, and then proceed along. Once you're around this campsite, there's going to be an old dwarf. His back is hurting. You give him some herbs. He's going to say, hey, thanks for that. Come visit. You come over here to visit. You're going to meet her. The dwarf needs to get to town. At that point, you offer to escort the dwarf, and you take him all the way on over here to town. And then she pops out of the bushes and says, thank you for actually escorting my husband. I thought you were not a nice person, but now I see that you are. And she will then give you the Magick Archer class as well as the mastery ability. And then last but not least, which is actually right where we're looking right now, is our final person. In the L's. Went right by him. Lamond. Now, Lamond is how you unlock Warfarer class. He is going to be sitting right by the hot spring where you need to deliver the husband for the Magick Archer questline. But before you do this, you're going to need to have Newt Liquor. Now, there are a couple of different ways to get Newt Liquor, but the most consistent way is going to be either being a Beastren or having the Beastren mask. You can get the mask from the forgery shop right here at the Checkpoint Rest Town. And then here at Bak Batal, you want to go on over to Higgs Tavern Stand. You walk on over here. There are going to be some satchels sitting outside of a small fence. Just pick one up and put it inside the fence. That guy is going to call you in and then mention like, oh, hey, you like the good stuff. And at that point, you can buy the Newt Liquor from him. It's quite expensive, but buying 3 Newt Liquor right here is going to be the easiest way to unlock Warfare early. Once you have access to the Newt Liquor, head back on over here to where he's at, just sitting in front of the hot spring. Each time you give him Newt Liquor, he's going to talk a little bit more. And after giving him a third, he is then going to give you the Warfarer vocation. After that, make sure you continue talking to him so that you get the rearmament skill. My first playthrough, I got the vocation and I didn't continue talking and didn't get the rearmament skill, which without that, the class is basically unusable. You can't quick swap between weapons. But doing all that, you will then have all of the vocations unlocked, as well as all of your mastery skills.
Have you business with the guild, sir?
Whew. So with all of that, let's go through and actually run through these skills, show off what they are, and what makes them so good. So mastery skills can only be used while you're on that class. We have Righteous Fury for Warrior. This is a big wombo combo, one of the few heavy damage dealing abilities that Warrior actually has. For Archer, we have Heavenly Shot. Big Boom. For Mage, we have Celestial Pain, which this is wild. This is probably the best ability in the game. It says hastens the stamina recovery. It basically just gives you infinite stamina. You and the party have infinite stamina while this is up, which a lot of these master abilities cost a buttload of stamina, and you can just spam them while this is active. Super, super good. The Thief, we have the 2 Blades of the Pyre, which I'm not as much a fan of. I see pawns frequently bring themselves close to death using this. And then Formless Feint, which is absolutely god tier. You just evade every single attack by shadow stepping. Over on Warrior, we have Arc of Might, the Unga of all Bungas. On Sorcerer, we have 2, Metreon and Maelstrom. Both of these are really good. The main thing is Metreon is more of an outdoor spell, whereas Maelstrom is best used indoors. I mean, you can use them wherever they want, but you know, you kind of need a sky to really call down those meteors efficiently. The Maelstrom's super powerful, but when this thing goes off, you really can't see anything. Like if you're playing as a melee Arisen and you have a sorcerer that casts this and you are in the thick of the fight, you are just like, what's happening? I can't see anything. It is pretty blinding. Over on Mystic Spearhand, we have Wild Fury, which is that one I showed right at the start. Super good. And as you notice right there, it can actually chain between multiple targets. On Magick Archer, we have what I would consider to be the most broken ability in the game, Martyr's Bolt. Now this sacrifices your actual health, not like the health that can be healed, but your health that you only get back from resting. But doing a full cast like it did right there in that clip, I can chunk 4 to 5 health bars off a Drake instantly. It is a super, super devastating ability. And you don't need to use your whole health bar. You can do like a quarter of a health bar or a third, or which is pretty fun because I'm playing it and I'm like, you know, third health arrow and shit. Anyway, beyond the point. For Trickster, we have Dragon's Delusion. Or Panic a Dragon with Dragon. And then lastly, Warfare's ability is just what allows the class to function. Rearmament. This is what allows you to equip multiple weapons without incurring a weight penalty, as well as quick swap between them. And with that, we are going to wrap things up. So, like I said, these things they're all super good. They're actually, it's pretty easy to miss this stuff if you aren't going after it, though. You know, like there's events where, you know, certain NPCs are going to move on, which is why I really wanted to get this guide out, because I'm on New Game +2 right now, and I'm just now have all of them because of things I did in New Game. Like New Game Plus, I rushed through and missed stuff, and then New Game +2, I was like, okay, I got to get this early stuff done. But either way, that's going to wrap things up. Besides this one, obviously I have the full Let's Play coming. I plan on putting together a starter guide, and then one detailing the Medusa questline. And I kind of wanted to go by each zone, but honestly, as limited as fast travel is in this game, this guide would have taken me like hours to put together, traveling to each zone. And either way, showing the people and the map locations is pretty easy. So if you have any trouble, leave a comment below. Otherwise, thanks for coming on by, and I'll catch y'all next time.